opportunity to do a webinar on such a wonderful topic of design thinking. As we all know, during the days of a nomad used to travel from one way to another way, as they were the nomads. So only they're called as the nomads. In order to, when they were traveling, they has to face many more things which was being given to them. Either they would be wandering from one place to another place. They had a problems of searching of food. They were frightened of animals, and they need to move from one place to another place with all the wooden stuffs and things. In order to overcome that climatical conditions and change in the climatical conditions and all, and to frighten the animals, one of the early men thought of rubbing the two stones and invented a fire. That is how we could go to the early stone age, and we can come to know how was the fire discovered. In the same manner, as he thought differently and uniquely, he could found out he was the founder of the fire. In the same manner, as we all know, as everyone likes to fly in the sky, there were two brothers who were standing under the sky and watching a bird fly. They thought, why only birds would be flying? Why not humans can also fly? That time, Wright brothers, as they're popularly known as the founders of aeroplanes, they found out the aeroplanes where they had just a two strings and they made the aeroplane to fly. From then, we have the modern aeroplanes till today, where we had gotten more of the benefits from aeroplane, and it is one of the aviation countries of India. We stand at the top five positions for all over the world in the aviation department. As communication is more indeed in this era, since we have a very good communication, then we can build a very good network. In order to talk from one place to another place during the ages or during back some years ago, that time we used to have telegrams, letters, and things like that to communicate. There was a person known as Alexander Graham Bell who found out a telephone, and now we have something called as the smartphones, which we have from a very good small thing to a very big thing now, that is the smartphones, where they do the human intelligence things. In one click we can do many more things by using the smartphones. We can talk from one country to another country using the smartphones. We can communicate from one place to another place using the smartphones. We can talk from one country to another country using the smartphones. We can communicate from one place to another place using the smartphones. We can talk from one country to another country using the communication during his office days. In the first few days, he was being an automotive design engineer. Once after he coming home, or every day as a late, he used to come home from the office. That time, every day on the roads, he used to see the street dogs would have been died. He was thinking and wondering why this street dogs are being dying every day. What was the necessary? What is the necessary things happening there? That is because there would be no proper street lights in India, and since the headlights of the cars and the motor vehicles would not be working properly, that could be also the reason. He thought of that. In order to make visible that street dogs are being passing or being crossing from one road to the other road in the end, he designed and developed a belt which was made up of a jeans tag. He collected all the torn jeans clothes from everywhere, and he started to design them, and he put across all the street dogs in the belt. And from there, he took a survey, and he also found out that the street dogs dying rate was being reduced in 1 month. From there, he was being funded by Ratan Tata to follow this NGO. And from there he became a general manager of Tata LHC, because he also developed and designed in the cars with the, an automatic light in during the night time. It was a great invention of Shantanu Naidu to design his mechanical tint for the cars in the Tata cars, and he did that, and he is today a general manager of Tata LHC for 28 years. In the same manner, as we all know, in Nasik, the Kumbh Mela, which happens and which is also a holy place for the Hindus, where there many people go and take a holy bath every year, wherein which the people who goes and take a holy bath would be around 4.5 billion to 6 million people. In 2018, there was a person called as Nilay Kulkarni. He found out a mat called as Azoto, because in order to stop the stamp deeds. However, since there is a huge crowd, every year people used to die there because of the stamp deeds. In order to overcome this problem of Nasik, he found out he is also a Nasik resident. He also found out called as Azoto. In Japan, Azoto means a doormat. What was the use of this doormat and how did he stop the stamp deed is the doormat what he was being used, the doormats what we use, for that he gave the electrical pins and which was being working with image recognition there. If a person comes and stands on that mat, he could record how many people were there. By using thermal image sensing cameras, they found out how many people are on the bank of the river and taken the holy bath, so that they maintained a very well proper queue, and there was no stamp deeds in the year 2009 is 18. After that it was being maintained for every year, and now in this year Kumbh Mela also there was no stamp deeds at all. And he is called as the young entrepreneur, and he is founder of the company called as Azio. So these are the successful stories of the young Indian entrepreneurs who are helping the society in a very good manner, which where the societies are being getting benefited from them, because that thinking in a very different manner. Every time everyone will think, why should I think differently? Everyone is afraid of a failure. But these people did not think about the failure. They thought, whatever it is, even if we fail, that is fine, that's okay. We will overcome it, but whatever we will do, we will try. Since, as there is a famous proverb called as try until you succeed, they tried, they became very successful, and they are called as the young Indian entrepreneurs now. In the same manner, how was the traditional design thinking, how a company would have been going for an innovation was, whatever the employee gets an idea that would have been done in an initial stage, they would go with a survey. That would be the preliminary assessment there. Once after taking a preliminary assessment and the survey, they would be going for the detailed investigation preparation. Whatever would be, what are the budget thing, what is the benefit, what are the pros and what are the cons for that. Once after getting the detailed investigation of that, they would be developing the system. Once after developing the system, they would test and validate it, whether it is working or not. If it is what, if it is working completely, then they would be launching it in the market. If there is any flaws or anything, they would not be launching that in the market. They would be keeping it with them, and they would do on another thing what are the flaws were there. And after the fully developed tray, after the fully developed system, they would be launching in the market with all the full production and everything for what could be the value of that product what they have designed and they have developed it. There would be, after even implementing that and after after developing and giving it launching to the company, even in the market, there they would also get a post implementation review. After what are the users are facing the feedback, they used to take all the what are the problems are they facing, are they happy with the features, is there any things that they need to be added or to be deleted. Everything they used to check, and they used to take a post implementation review. This is the traditional method of innovation in our company. There is also, we all know a very famous model called as waterfall model, where in waterfall model what we do is we take the requirements from the user. We know what, we'll take what are the requirements from the user for any model to be developed. Now for example, if I go with a Apple user phone, there was only one single button in the starting. Many people used to feel difficulty in using an iPhone with a single button, because most of the people were not convenient by using that button. Now you have a single button, as well as there is an option of three different buttons in an iPhone 13 Pro. So these are the different types of requirements they would be taken from the customer, and then they would be designing based on the requirements of the people or the user. Once after the design is done, they would be developing that software. How are they developing? In the design phase, there would be a prototype model also. It would be just a blueprint of the model. This is how a model would be coming after the production. They'll think of that design it, and they would be developed that. Once after the prototype or the design part is done, then the development is the next phase. In development phase, they'll develop it. What are the necessary things need to be, what they have thought, and what are the innovative ideas they have thought. They would be developing all that. Once after the development is done, there would be a testing team in a company. They'll test what are the necessary things to be, tested. Is it working properly? Whether it is, it is in a good condition or not. What are the things to be added? If the developer, gets a value only if there is a tester, because tester will test it in a very proper manner. What are the things to be done? So after testing, they would be implementing the things. Once after implementing the things, that is the deployment phase. After deployment, they would be launching it into the market. Once after in the market, that is the product is being launched, the people would go and do the maintenance from the company's side, which is an that, and for ideas. What ideas I can do it? What is the best thing I can develop and I can design it over there? After that, making all these ideas into tangible, whether is this idea or these tools in that idea set, that in order to differentiation. What means how as a whole product they would be launching with the new design thinking. Once after buying the car, what is the car from a be a financial feasibility, agile execution, where they take the feedback